The LA Chargers closer right now to the NFL draft makes a signing that had all of us with question marks over our heads, including myself. But we're here to break it down here on Chargers Syndicate. What's up, Bowl fam? How are we feeling today? It is I, Jake Silva, here on Chargers Syndicate, giving you everything LA Chargers news and so much more here on the channel. If it is your first time ever coming across the channel, don't just keep scrolling up. If you're a diehard Charger fan out there, whether San Diego, LA, or all across the nation and the world, I encourage you guys to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, keep you up to date on future and past videos, as this video is sponsored by GreenGridiron.com. For your very own life-size or miniature customized helmet of your style, your way, your favorite team, check out GreenGridiron.com right now today and use promo code LACSYN, that is LACSYN, at checkout for your exclusive discount at GreenGridiron.com, link in the description. All right, guys, it's time to talk about it because I thought this was really interesting, Charger fans. So the Los Angeles Chargers, we know, we're 20 days away from the NFL draft. And already there's some buzzes about what we may potentially pick up. But before all of that, the LA Chargers today ended up making a move that surprised a lot of people. And so the move today is that they have signed quarterback Trey Lance to a 1-year, $6.2 million contract. Now, Trey Lance, what's interesting about this is because we've seen his walk all through college at North Dakota State and where he's been at in the league since he's been drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. The former 2021 third overall pick didn't quite pan out the way that most of 49er fans thought that he was going to be able to. There was a lot of promise in him, and there was a lot of potential that we would have seen. So with Trey Lance this past season in 2024 with the Dallas Cowboys, he had 266 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 INT, and a quarterback rating of 38.3. Now, in his career thus far in 3 years since he's been in the league, and at least since he's been healthy, since he was sidelined with injuries, he's already played a total of 12 games and has a 56 completion percentage with over 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns and 4 picks with a rating of 80.3. So Trey Lance, to me, it feels like this is kind of a resurgence type of signing. Now, let's just get this narrative off the table, okay? No, he is not replacing Justin Herbert. No, this is not going to be a similar situation like what happened with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. That is not the case. What I feel of what Jim Harbaugh and what Joe Ortiz looked at this when they signed Trey Lance is that this was a talk that was buzzing through the Chargers all throughout the season, was their quarterback room outside of Justin Herbert. And it wasn't as kind of top tier as you think when you had Easton Stick and you had Taylor Heinicke. Now, granted, Taylor Heinicke, as I've said before in the past, is the most trustworthy quarterback I would have taken over Easton Stick. But because that was such an eyesore to the team last year with as far as their depth, they then go and address it and they go and sign Trey Lance. Now, that being said, Easton Stick is clearly not going to be up on this roster. And a lot of people are all thinking good riddance. Again, I think for his job that he's done, but it wasn't enough to at least make the cuts to be on this roster, respectfully. So now it's a quarterback battle between Taylor Heinicke and with Trey Lance. I feel like at the age that Trey Lance is at, and barring that he stays healthy all season long. Now, granted, they're going to be fighting for that backup role. And with Trey Lance with his upside, hopefully this is actually a bounce back type of year for him in order to be physically fit, at the same time, be productive as much as he possibly can, even for preseason games, and stepping in a role in case if Justin Herbert does, in fact, suffer an injury. So that's one of the things that they're thinking about. The other thing is, too, I go back to when Jim Harbaugh back at Michigan and the design that he had with his quarterback room. You guys remember when he had J.J. McCarthy as his starter, but then they also had a backup quarterback in Alex Orji. Now, clearly, Orji was not cutting out as far as their starter. However, they were utilizing him in packages to where they utilized his legs. They also utilized a little bit of, here or there, switching up quarterbacks to really kind of fool a lot of defenses and just kind of come up with like one of those situational plays to where it would come back with the starter and the starter would stay healthy all season long. I feel like this is kind of the role that Jim Harbaugh is taking into, considering the fact that Trey Lance being 24 going into 25 and Justin Herbert, as you know, not that far away from him at all. But I do believe that if you're going to input and you're going to instill this type of offense with having Justin Herbert as your main course on this offense and then bringing in specialty packages for Trey Lance to come into here, why not, Charger fans? I think it would be interesting. But I do not believe this is going to be a situation where he's going to start coming in and maybe potentially having a situation of what happened with Alex Smith. I do not believe that that's going to happen in this case. This stature with Justin Herbert is the closest thing for Jim Harbaugh to ever make a mistake and move off of just like that. I think there's going to be some interesting packages put together with Greg Roman on this offense, but that's where I'm hoping that if this is the part with Trey Lance, that I hope that he pans out well, and I hope that he does a lot of really good wonders for the Chargers. That's going to do it here for me on Charger Syndicate. Guys, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, keep you up to date on future and past videos. Jake Silva signing off. Have a great rest of your day and the weekend, and always remember to bolt up all season long.